Right, so Sir Lewis Hamilton made his much anticipated on-track debut for Scuderia Ferrari last week. Of course, the 7-time world champion is teaming up with the most successful team in the history of Formula 1 for at least the next 2 seasons. Now, this is a move that very much feels romantic. Like I said, best driver in the history of the sport statistically in terms of his achievements, and also the most successful team in the history of the sport as well. Some have been critical of it though. Some have doubted the actual reasons behind this. Some saying that it's not purely down to his racing skill, it's potentially a bit of a marketing exercise. Now, there was a picture recently of Hamilton when he was in Ferrari overalls for the first time. I'll admit, the first time I saw that picture, I thought it was photoshopped, but then I realised that it was actually on Hamilton's official Facebook page, so it was definitely real. Now, I haven't verified the authenticity of these claims, but apparently that post actually earned Ferrari sponsors, which are numerous, of course, the likes of the title sponsor HP, the fuel sponsor Shell, IBM, Unicredit. I'm just reading the things on their shirt, really. But all those people, all those sponsors, collectively earned $500,000 from that one social media post. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know how that works exactly. I know how ad revenue works with these kind of things, but that seems like a lot. That is a lot of money. And with that as well, it kind of does stoke the flames of the fact that some people believe this is not purely down to racing reasons. It's also because it's a bit of a marketing exercise, like I said. And that is certainly the viewpoint of Jackie Ickx, Formula 1 legend, one of the best drivers to never win the World Championship, a sports car legend. I think he actually held the record for the most wins at the 24 Hours of Le Mans until a certain Danish man turned up on the scene in the 1990s. So, and also a former Ferrari driver as well back in the day, back in the 60s and the 70s. So let's have a look at this guy's full article on the F1Chronicle.com. I'll give my thoughts at the end. F1 legend and former Ferrari driver Jackie Ickx thinks the Italian team leapt at the chance to sign Lewis Hamilton, probably for marketing reasons. It has emerged that the first photo of Hamilton at Maranello, standing in front of Enzo Ferrari's house with an F40 supercar in the background, broke the record for the most liked Formula 1 related image on Instagram in history. The photo has 5.6 million likes at the time of this article being written, and that number is going up. Emotions aside, how much is the 7-time world champion worth to Ferrari, wondered La Repubblica newspaper. Judging from his first photo published last Monday, a lot. The newspaper also published a summary of the estimated and lucrative value per sponsor of Hamilton's first photo in Ferrari gear. That's what I was referencing previously. It's certainly worth it for Ferrari already, respected British commentator Martin Brundle is quoted by Sky Deutschland, even if he was also wondering out loud if the 40-year-old is now past his prime. Well, he might be, but his prime was extremely high. You don't have to be your absolute best. Experience and consistency comes into it when you've done as many seasons as Hamilton has done, but it is a valid question given his age. 8-time Grand Prix winner, who is 80 years of age now, acknowledged that Hamilton's incredible marketing value will have weighed into the decision to sign the famous Briton. Carlos Sainz did very well at Ferrari, he told El Mundo Deportivo. But Ferrari were tempted to sign Hamilton probably for marketing reasons and probably also because he wanted a new experience to include Ferrari in its history. We'll see, Ickx from Belgium added. But there's nothing to criticise Carlos for. He was successful, he won Grand Prix, but that's in the past now. We have to remember that there are many important aspects to F1 and not just politics. There are also economics, marketing, but in the end it's all about winning. It's sad to see that Sainz leaving Ferrari, but you have to move on and you can't consistently think about the things that would have been and why it didn't happen. No, said Ickx, you have to be focused on what you have to do and the best with that. Hamilton and Leclerc will be back on track this weekend in Barcelona in the 2023 Ferrari Formula 1 car before Hamilton gets his first taste of the 2024 Ferrari another week later for a Pirelli tyre test. And Hamilton knows all about Pirelli tyre tests. Look up Barcelona 2013 if you want to go down that rabbit hole. Not that I'm alleging anything went wrong there. Just putting that out there, just a fact. It happened. We know it happened. But anyway, back on the subject of Hamilton. Now, you can read these comments in a critical manner. I'm sure some people would look at that headline and think, well, Ickx is just saying that he's there for the money. He's a pay driver, effectively. He's not there for his talent. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that the commercial aspect to Hamilton would have weighed into Ferrari's decision to sign him. And that's true. It would have done. It can't not, and that's not a criticism, that's a fact. back in the late 1970s, or was it the early 80s? Early 80s. Early 80s. It was early 80s when Ferrari, they had a fatality in the form of Gilles Villeneuve in 1982. Also in 1982 as well, Didier Pironi suffered a career-ending accident. So effectively, they were desperate for drivers at that point. They were looking desperately to try and find somebody. Now, at the time, I think it was Mario Andretti who ended up signing for them on a one-race deal. And he did very well in that one race, mind you. Of course, the 1978 world champion, legend of the sport. I think he drove for Ferrari briefly in the 60s as well before that. You know, and the commercial aspect to that did weigh into it, just like the deal as well to sign Villeneuve in the first place in the late 70s. Alan Jones, the 1980 world champion who drove for Williams, the Australian driver, I'm sure he spoke about this in a documentary where there was a rumor going around that Enzo Ferrari was obviously struggling financially. Ferrari in general was struggling at that time after Lauda left, and they were looking for a North American driver. And that was part of the reason why they signed Villeneuve, for the commercial appeal of a North American Formula 1 driver. Ferrari would be stupid and ignorant to ignore the fact that Hamilton has massive commercial appeal. And the idea of him teaming up with Ferrari is something that fans have arguably waited at least 10-15 years for now. There's been rumours about Hamilton joining Ferrari as soon as he won the championship, really. Even before then, there were rumours of it, and Hamilton has spoken about his admiration for Ferrari on numerous occasions before he joined the team. Look at the interview with the BBC Sport 2015, I think it was it Bahrain? It was early on in the season. Hamilton driving for Mercedes, and Sebastian Vettel recently joined Ferrari, and Hamilton kind of fell into Vettel's trap of saying basically he wants to drive for Ferrari at some point in his career. And look at him now. It's happened nearly 10 years on exactly. So let's see what happens with this. I mean, I think it is a risk, obviously, signing Hamilton. It's always going to be a risk. It was a risk to keep Carlos Sainz. Less of a risk in a sense, but the rewards of Hamilton, not only financially, but also on the track, a proven world championship winning driver, it could be massive for them. It could win them the championship. It could do. It could also lose in the championship too. It could do. We don't know where Hamilton's pace really is at the moment. I would wager on the fact that he's still very, very quick, and just things are just not working out at Mercedes. He was there for 12 years. 12 years, that's longer than most Grand Prix drivers' careers. So I think it could pay off. It is not a case of it just being financially, and I don't think that's what Ickx is saying. I don't think he's even alluding to that, to be honest with you. Not really. I'd say that the commercial aspect is part of the reason why. It's part of the reason why they kept Charles Leclerc. He's the boy wonder. He's the guy. I mean, yeah, part of the main reason is because he's very good. You know, let's not get away from that. He's not a paid driver by any stretch. He's not Lance Stroll here, is he? You know, but it's the appeal of having him, a Ferrari driver academy driver driving for Ferrari. He is the one they want to be the world champion. Well, they won't mind if Hamilton won it as well. But, you know, while Carlos Sainz was at the team, certainly Leclerc was the guy where it's like, yeah, we want this guy to win the championship. We're going to do everything we can. He's our next star. So there's a lot of factors at play here when it comes to that, financial being one of them. But at the end of the day, Ferrari also has massive commercial appeal as well, even without Hamilton. So what are your guys' thoughts? Is Hamilton at Ferrari because of the commercial aspect to signing him? Is that part of the reason? Is it a significant part of the reason? Was it the right idea to sign Lewis Hamilton for Ferrari? Your thoughts in the comments as always, guys. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always. And we'll see you very soon for some more F1 news and opinion pieces just like this. Have a good one, guys.